let's flip a coin. Head Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer.
Okay, it's Andy Graham of hoboontheroad.com. I just discovered that I probably have a good situation. You have to find something high to sit this on, and I got to have a seat, right? Because I'm lazy. I'm going to eat my yogurt and answer some Ask Andy shows. I've traveled non-stop for 16 plus years and went to 93 countries. Okay, Melissa M. asks, how does a couple stay longer than 90 days in a country? I have been watching your videos and I've seen you seem like a pretty sensible person who is really addressing the questions we have, like how to be safe and rent in an affordable place. I ordered some of your secret pockets from Amazon.com. Thank you. My husband and I are in our mid-50s and are looking to retiring early. We could have a monthly allotment of around $2,400 a month to start out. That's good money, guys. This is, you know, you don't have to live like $500 a month to me. I've never said you had to do it. I just don't have as much money as you guys. In December, we're going to Loja, Ecuador, which we chose because Loja is a college town and it's the music capital of Ecuador and doesn't look super touristy. What did you think of it? My husband plays guitar, improv, jazz, and not many covers, and we think we can find local people to play music, make friends with. I would agree, you probably can. Musicians is a great way to find, you know, to find something in common. We also visit Quito for a week. If you like, we could make retirement arrangements and head down. If we like, we could make retirement arrangements and head back down, but we would not want to buy a house or hook into too much like we hear about retiring expats to do. Very wise. Don't just buy until you've been there for 2 or 3 years, really. We want the freedom to move around and see anywhere we want to go. We are more interested in learning about local people and customs, not to go clump with other English-speaking people only. We will, of course, learn the local language when we get immersed. So how do you stay long enough to decide if you like it without getting all tied into the whole residency thing, like a 6 months or a year? This is a question for more than just Ecuador. To move someplace is much bigger, a bigger decision than just a 3-week vacation allows. We are from Seattle. We are considering living abroad to have an interesting retirement, and we could more easily afford and do not have to work an additional 9 to 10 years of our life. They don't want to have the, Melissa and her husband doesn't want to have the deferred life plan where you basically wait until retirement, then you go do something your body no longer will do. So if you retire 10 years early, even if you live abroad, you can do this because you can live cheaper and enjoy life more. You have 10 years to enjoy it. Okay. Every country has a different amount of visa allotment. I mean, like when I go to Togo, I get a year. Not necessarily on arrival. Togo, West Africa. Ecuador gives you 90 days. Truly, what I would recommend for you is to, I think Ecuador will only give you 90 days on arrival. Then you could actually go down into, I would recommend you go down to Peru or go up into what is the country over there? Colombia, and then come back. I think you can automatically get another 90 days. But the truth is, you're trying to, as many Americans, you're trying to define what you're going to do before you do it, and you want to know whether Loja's a good place. And I can't tell you because Loja's uniquely special to you. So really, it's kind of a wanker on my side if I try to say yes, it's a great place. I truthfully think you could fly into Quito and then go up to Octavalo, stay for 2 or 3 weeks, go into Quito, stay for a couple weeks, go down to Baños, stay for a couple weeks, stop in Cuenca, stay for a couple weeks, go down to Loja, stay for a couple weeks, go down to Vilcabamba, stay for a couple weeks, then shift right out of the country and go to Peru. But truthfully, if you want to stay longer than 90 days, the easiest way to do it is to apply for a visa inside the country. But see, every country, and this is the problem with me giving visa advice, every country has different rules, and every country has different, they change the rules. So this video may be obsolete just in less than, could be obsolete next week. But I think you can apply for an extension for 90 days inside the country of thing, which would probably be best done in Cuenca or Quito, but for 90 days. But the ideal way to stay 6 months in Ecuador is to make an application for a visa outside the United States. I mean, inside the United States. Now, for me, that's quite hard because I got it. So, what I would do is I'd get on embassypages.com, and I would see where the consulates or embassies are in the United States for Ecuador, maybe for Peru too, and see. But I mean, Peru is a lot nicer country in a lot of ways. There's a lot more to do. Iquitos is a big hangout for expats, and you know, Peru's got mountains, ocean. It's really kind of a nicer country. It's got the Amazon River and things. So you know, really, that's. I would maybe look for the embassy in Peru or Colombia. Colombia is a wonderful country. So Ecuador is just popular, okay, and it's full of Americans. So you say you don't want to go with clump, but you're going to America completely, okay? It's really hard to avoid Americans in things. So clumping with the other Americans is exactly what's going to happen in Ecuador. But you can get on embassy pages, find out where the Peru embassy is close to you, and not the Peru, the Ecuador embassy or consulate next to you, and then apply for the just a tourist visa for 6 months there, and then you should be good. You know, on the other side is what you're not counting on is the fact that you're a talkative person and that you talk to people in it. If you get on, I know on the Vilcabamba, there's a Vilca People page on Facebook, and they can give you all sorts of alternatives. So get on Facebook and search for expats Cuenca, expats Quito, expat Ecuador, and find one of these forums where you can actually post questions. They're big on Facebook and they're real easy to join, and then you just ask these questions and everybody wants to answer because everybody wants to be the brains of the thing. And you got to be real careful. You kind of got to get collaboration. I mean, got to get 2 or 3 people telling you how to do it because they all want to be expert on something they didn't do. I've very seldom applied for a visa extension except in the Philippines and Mexico, I guess. And but my understanding is you should be able to do it there. But 90 days, as far as I'm understanding, in Ecuador, you can only apply for, you can only live there for 180 days, 6 months a year. Then you have to be out of the country or get a residency visa. And truthfully, my opinion is go to Colombia or go to Peru and really have a special life instead of trying to look at it that you have to move someplace. You're probably on too many of these websites where they want to sell residency visas. It's kind of a scam. In 90 days in the country, I was bored out of my brain in Vilcabamba after 90 days, 79 days. I really think most of the time you're going to be relatively bored after 30 days in any city. So that means on 90 days you could spend 30 days in one place, 30 days in another place, and 30 days. And that would be the simpler way to travel, and just look at it as negotiating a room for 30 days, go to the next place, negotiate a room for 30 days, and then leave the country. That's the easiest and the simplest and the less convoluted way to do it. But Americans like to think too much. They like to, analysis paralysis. They just make travel incredibly difficult, making it work. Just land on your feet, get there. I would recommend. And if you're really saying you don't want to clump with Americans, if you want to clump with Americans, then apply for the 6-month visa. Anywhere on the planet, though, there's a way always to live in the country. And on the other side is until you've lived in a country for almost 2 years, you can't say you want to live there. I mean, you got to live there until you really don't like Ecuadorians. You got to live there until you really don't like the expats you're with, and it's just another country. And then it just weighs itself on what it is. I hope it works, but all your questions can be answered by, there's tons of these expat forums, but you got to realize that you're trying to look for the person that isn't making money by giving you advice. And everybody, it's the wanker move out. International lying has just really created a bunch of idiots on the planet that move from the United States to Ecuador just like they're moving from Indiana to Ohio. This is not what you want to do. This is just a stupid move. I mean, there's nothing more negligent than to encourage somebody to do this. And it's really just because they want to make money and they're a real estate scam and they're selling visas and all this stuff. It's really a miserable way to live. Okay, just go down there, enjoy yourself. If you haven't been there, then you don't need all these plans. 90 days is plenty of time. But this liquidating your stuff at home is going to be the complicated part. Okay, and again, the best way to do any kind of long-term visas is to do it in the United States. I use a company called Briggs.com. I think it is Briggs. You just search for Briggs Visa, B-R-I-G-G, and they actually will walk me through getting visas for other countries, because I'm in Indiana and I'm a long ways from any embassy or wanting to do all the paperwork, and actually I don't have all the time, so I do it really quick. And for an extra $100 or $200, I can get a visa to Africa really quick. I can get it within 10 days, 20 days. They can expedite this stuff. And it's really good to know how to have help getting a visa. But the companies on the internet that are trying to do this for Ecuador usually they're not to be trusted. It's better to go in the country and extend a visa with somebody. You're talking with somebody in Quito and they tell you, some American or German or French or whatever, and they tell you how to do it. And there's a due diligence thing too, and if you're in Ecuador and you apply for a visa, you can live in the country because you're in the application stage of getting a visa. So that ought to be. And plus, there's a lot of people that overstay their visa in Ecuador, but I'm not ever recommending that. But they do that. Okay, thank you, Melissa. If you go to Ecuador, you're going to clump with the Americans, and you're never going to learn Spanish easily. It's very difficult to become immersed.